GED and the HiSET Math Prep. Yes, believe that you can. Question number 1. How many possible outcomes would there be if 2 coins were tossed once? Feel free to pause the video, challenge yourself before you continue to see the correct answer. But I can tell you that here the correct answer is B. So when they toss 2 coins, and decide you have 2 possibilities. It can be head for the first coin and a head for the second coin. Or you have a head and tail. Or you have a tail and head. Or you have a tail and tail. So in total, you have 4 possibilities. Another way to solve it is this. You have a 2, means what? You have a head or tail, and you raise to the second power. So that power means you have 2 coins. So in case they ask the same question and they say 3 coins, you're going to be 2 raised to the third power. Or 4 coins, you're going to be 2 raised to the fourth power. So again, our answer is this 2 to the second power, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay, this is just, another example in case they say 3 or 4 coins. Okay, let's see the second question. Simplify 3 raised to negative 11 times 3 raised to the third power. So this is a multiplication between exponent. Understand that the 3 here, we call it base, and we have the same base here, which is also 3. But the negative 11, this is exponent, and the exponent is negative. So the 3 here on top is also an exponent. Okay, so when you have question like this with the same base, the rule is to keep that same base, which is 3, and you add the exponent, so negative 11 plus 3, and that gives you 3 raised to negative 8. And this is same as to write as 1 divided by 3 to the positive 8. This is a rule. Okay, so every time you have your exponent as negative, you can rewrite it as a positive thing by flipping over. So you have a 1 divided by the same base raised to the power, but it has to be positive. Therefore, the correct choice here is A. Question number 3. A line whose equation is 8x plus 3y equals 24 has a slope of. So they ask you to find the slope of a line where the equation is given. So understand that having 8x plus 3y is equal to 24, we want to rewrite this as what? Y equals mx plus b, where m represents the slope. So here we need to isolate the y. Therefore, we will subtract 8x on both sides, which is to move the 8x to the other side. That becomes negative 8x. So you'll see that we have now 3y is equal to negative 8x plus 24. We have a 24 minus 8x, but I will write it as negative 8x plus 24 because I'm looking for the form mx plus b, something x plus something. Therefore, to get y alone, we will divide everything here by 3 by 3. So you will see that we have a y is equal to negative 8 over 3 x plus 8. So understand that what we are looking here, what we are looking for is the slope, which is the number attached to x. We call this the coefficient of x. So negative 8 over 3 is the slope. And the correct choice is C. Okay, let's continue. Question number 4. A 12-sided die. Okay, so I understand that here we have a die with a 6 sides, but we also have a die with 12 sides, which is the case here. A 12-sided die can be made from a geometric solid called a dodecahedron. Okay, yeah, that is, the name of the die with a 12 sides. So assume that a fair dodecahedron is rolled with a sample space 1, 2, 3, 12. Here they ask you to find the probability. So when they say find P, P represents the probability. So we want to find the probability of a number less than 4. Yes, it's a less than 4. So the number less than 4, you have a 1, 2, 3. Okay, so understand that in total, we have a 12 sides. So our probability will be a fraction where the denominator is 12. Now, how many numbers we have less than 4? We have a 3 numbers. So at top we have a 3. And there is no number as a 3 over 12 as a choice. That means what we need to reduce. So to reduce this, we divide 3 by 3, which is 1. 12 divided by 3, which is 4. Therefore, the correct choice is A. Question number 5 is simple but challenge. So again, pause the video, solve this question before you see the answer. But I can tell you right away that, okay, the correct choice here is C, undefined. Yeah. If you choose a 0, that means you don't understand yet the concept. So let's explain it. They ask you to find the slope. Understand that when ask you to find the slope, you have a many possibility. So as many possibility here, the possibility we're going to use is the formula slope, which is m, which is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Therefore, you need to label, okay, the points. So we have the coordinate 2, 2. We're going to call this x1, y1, x2, y2. So you label the coordinate, means always the first coordinate will be the x value and the second coordinate will be the y value. But because we have a 2 point, so to make it a difference, that's why we call one x1, y1, and the second one x2, y2. Okay. The next step is to plug in. So we're going to have our slope as y2 is negative 2 minus y1 is 2 divided by 2, which is x2, minus x1 is also 2. So on top, when you have a negative 2 minus 2, this is negative 4. The bottom, when you have a 2 minus 2, this is 0. Please, even if you use a calculator, negative 4 divided by 0 is not 0. So the calculator will tell you error. But that error means does not exist, which is we say undefined. Yes, undefined. So the reason the correct choice here is C. So keep in mind, every time you have a number divided by 0, you have a what? Undefined. But if it is 0 divided by that number, which is not 0, so we'll have a 0 divided by 4 or negative 4, whatever, it will be 0. In this case, yes, that will be 0. But if it's 0 in the denominator, we say undefined. Okay, we continue. Question number 6. For question number 6, this is a question about a function. They give you 4 different graphs. Understand that for A, the graph is what we have here. For B, the graph is this. For C, the graph is this line. And for D, the graph is this one. For D, the line is a horizontal line, but for C, it's a vertical line. Okay, they want to know which graph represents a function. There is a rule we're going to apply here, which is what? Every time they give you a graph and they ask you to check which one is a function, is to draw a vertical line, okay, many vertical lines through the graph. Okay, if any of your vertical line, okay, crosses your graph more than one point, this is not a function. For example, if I draw this vertical line, I saw that the green vertical line I draw here crosses the red graph more than 1 point. So I have 1 point here, I have another point here. So this is not a function. Same thing here, cross it, okay? We have a 2 point, not a function. Okay, understand that in C, that vertical line we have is telling you that the graph has many points, many points. So we make a graph from many points. So we have many points, okay, aligned vertically to make this vertical line. So if I draw a vertical line through this vertical line, this is crossing what? Many points. So again, it's not a function. Only D is a function because any vertical line you draw to this horizontal line will cross, okay, the red horizontal line at only 1 point. Therefore, the correct choice here is D. Question number 7. They say, what is half of 2 plus 2? Half of 2 plus 2. Okay, understand that this sentence we can convert in mathematical form. Half means 1 over 2. So it's like we want to do 1 over 2. Now the of there, when they say half of, that of means multiply by 2 plus 2. There is something called PEMDAS, order of operation, which is very important here. So in PEMDAS, we have a P as parenthesis, E exponent, M multiplication, D division, A addition, and S subtraction. But the thing is this, multiplication and division are on the same level. So if division comes first before multiplication, you do division. But if it's a multiplication before division, you do multiplication. Okay, here we have 1 over 2 times. So take this 1 over 2 as a number times 2 before the other 2. So we need to do this multiplication. 1 over 2 times 2 is same as 2 over 2, which is same as 1. Okay, so we take it that 1 plus 2, and that gives you 3. So the correct choice here is B. Okay, another way to do this is to use a calculator. But you have to understand that half of means 1 over 2 or 0.5. If you use 0.5, you're going to get the same thing. Multiply by 2 plus 2. So if you do that with a calculator, you see that the answer will be 3. Question number 8. Which of the following expression are monomial? So this is a keyword. Monomial. Monomial means one term. So we have 2 terms for I. So this is telling me that this is out, because the question is about monomial. So any choice, okay, with I will be out, like a D is out. Okay, so with a degree, so another key information, degree 2. So degree means the highest exponent of the expression. So this degree is different from degree measure of angle. Okay, so this is the highest exponent. So they want to know the expressions that are what? Monomial, at the same time, the highest exponent is 2. So we have a monomial here. And yes, the highest exponent is 2 because the power here is 2. Okay, so I 2 times is correct. We have again monomial where the highest exponent is 2. The power here is 2. So yes, triple I also good. We have a monomial here, but the highest exponent here is not 2. X has exponent, yes, but the exponent is 1. So invisible 1. So this is also out. This is out. Therefore, we have a double I and a triple I, and the correct choice here is A. Question number 9. Yeah, question number 9 is a little bit tricky, okay? But I can tell you that for question number 9, the correct choice is D, which is this one here. The sequence of these multiplication sentences is modeled by the rectangle below. Okay, understand that we have a small rectangle and we have small rectangles and also large rectangle. So this is the large rectangle. The 4x is the width, okay, here. So that's this width. We have a 6x, which is this length. And we also have a 3, which is here. But understand that if you see all the expressions, expression 4 saying 4x, which is like a width, times 6x plus 3, okay, represents the length for the large rectangle. Yeah. Therefore, the correct choice here is D. But let's check something. If you take a I, they say 4x times 6x minus 3. So 6x is just, this length. So you cannot do 6x minus 3. Okay, to get what? I don't know. So this doesn't, correspond to anything in a rectangle. It's not like area or perimeter. No, doesn't work for area, doesn't work for perimeter. So this is out. Even 6x times 4x plus 3, no, doesn't work. So as a perimeter, as a rectangle, maybe you are using the expression to find the perimeter or you find the area or you find, a length, something like that. But based on the expression or the expression here, even this is out, you will see that only 4 makes sense. And that 4 is like we are finding the area of the large rectangle. Okay. Question number 10. They say which number is the least? So they want to know the small number. But before we find this small number, let's rewrite all the 4 numbers as a decimal numbers. So the first one we have a 0.4. The second one we have a 0.35. Now, when you have a 3 divided by 8, if you use a calculator, that gives you 0.375. And the last one gives you 0.6. But the thing is this, to better compare these 4 numbers, it's very important to have the same amount of digits after the decimal. For 0.4, we have a 1 digit after the decimal, so we need to complete this with zeros. So 0.4 is same as 0.400. Okay, the next one, 0.35 is same as 0.350. The next one, 0.375. So already have the 3 digit, that's fine. And the last one we complete, we have 0.600. Okay, so to compare this, compare 400 to 350 to 375 to 600, because the first part, the number before the decimal is 0.0000. So our comparison here is just the part after the decimal. Based on this, the small value is 350. This is telling you that the least number here is 0.35. Question 11. Which makes the statement -5 is greater than, okay, empty box, true? We have 4 numbers. They want to know what number can you place in that box, okay, such that -5 is greater than that number. Okay, remember a number line. If you have a number line, right? Somewhere here, let's place 0. So if you are moving to the right side, you have a 1, you have a 2, you have a 3, and so on. If it's a left side, you're going to have a -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, and so on. Okay, so -5 is here. Understand that when you are moving from 0 to the left side, okay, your number becomes smaller. So this is decreasing. Okay, when you move from 0 to the right side, okay, that increase. Okay, so this will tell you that 0 is greater than -1, or -1 is smaller than 0. -1 is greater than -2, or -2 is smaller than -1. -2 is greater than -3 because this is decreasing, or -3 is smaller than -2. -3 is greater than -4, or -4 is smaller than -3. So on, so on, so on. So you will see that the -5 is greater than, okay, -6, or -6 is smaller than -5. So what we need to put here as -5 is greater than what? -5 is greater than -6. So the correct choice here is A. Okay, question 12. They say 2/10 and 2/10 equal. Again, we have a sentence to convert into mathematical expression. Okay, when they say 2/10, that means what? You have a 10 and another 10. So 10 plus 10, or it's like a 2 times 10, 2/10. And they say and, that and represent plus. 2/10. Okay, understand tenth. When they say tenth, tenth is 1 out of 10, which is same as 0.1. Okay, so this is telling that 2/10 will be 0.1 plus another 0.1. Or we can say 2 multiplied by 0.1. Same thing. Therefore, 2 times 10 is 20. 20 plus 2 times 0.1 is 0.2. And if you add 20 to 0.2, you get 20.2. I don't know. I like this question. So question 12, the correct choice is A. Question 13. Yeah. This is again a graph, and we want to describe this graph. And it's very important to understand, okay, the key term, the key information about the graph. Which of the following represents the best description of the graph below? Understand that the graph here is this part. That's the graph in red. Okay, so we have the origin here. We call that 0. Okay, so it should be something like this. So when we have x and the y, so we are moving to the right side, you have a positive x, or left side, you have a negative x, or you are moving up, you have a positive y, you are moving down, you have a negative y. Okay, so we are on the positive part of x and the y. But the thing is this, when they say y always increases as x increases means, okay, you are moving from 0 to the right side. But every time you are moving, okay, your movement is described by the graph. That means what? Okay, suppose you are at 1. Okay, on the graph, you will have a point where the x value of that point is 1. So what will be the y value? You project to the y line. Okay, suppose let's call this 10. Let's pick another value. Suppose here is 2. Okay, when x is 2, to find the y, you project this to the graph. So there is a point here on the graph. So you find the y value, you project to the y line. So this is below 10. So let's say 9. But anyway, it's below 10. So that means what? when my x is increasing, the y value becomes smaller. Okay, let's do another one. Let's take like a 3 here. Again, I have a point on the graph where the x value is 3. But to find the y value is going to be something below 9. So let's call it 8. So what happening here? We are seeing that as x is increasing, the y value is decreasing. So it has to be that sentence. X increasing, the y decreasing. Okay, so that's C. Because they say y always decreases as x increases. Yes, that is not the correct choice for 13. Okay, in another video, I can give a more challenge question related to something like this. So let's continue with this, and we'll see the rest in another video. Question 14. Question 14. Yeah, you can again pause the video, you challenge yourself before you see my answer. But again, understand that for question 14, A is the correct choice. What they're asking to do here, what they say, shaded portion. Okay, the shaded portion is what we have inside here. Okay, so we want to find what? The area. The shaded portion here is a rectangle, and the area for rectangle is what? A equals length times width. So we need to know the dimension. And if you see this properly, look, this length is what? From here to here, which is 1.5 feet. So that means what? We don't need the 3 inches. No. Okay. The other side, this side here, the width, okay, again, is what? It's just the 1 foot. Okay. So to find this area, we need to do 1.5 times 1. So A is 1.5 times 1. So feet, foot. So that gives you what? The same 1.5, because any number multiplied by 1 is that same number, or 1 multiplied by any number is that number. So 1.5 square feet, which is twice A. Question 15. For question 15, again, okay, you can pause the video, challenge yourself. You have to understand that the asks you to find the equation of a line passes through these 2 points. Okay, so let's draw, that line. So suppose I draw a line through this. You have to understand something. So is this line increasing or decreasing? This is a line increasing. How I know? Okay, always see your line from left to right. From left to right, there is a line going up. From left to right is a line going up, so it's increasing. Every time a line is increasing, the slope of that line is what? Positive. That's key information. Okay, so if you see all the 4 choices, correct, you'll see that the slope, so this is like a form y equals mx plus b. So m represents the slope. So that number attached to x. So the slope is negative for b, because we have a negative 1 over 2. The slope is negative for d, because we have a negative 2. So b and d are out. We have a and c. Now, there is something, you have to understand, which is what? With a 2 points, okay, on the line, you can find the slope using rise over run. This is another formula of a slope. Rise over run. So if you use that rise over run, like here, from 1 point, you reach the other point, but you have to move up. So like a 1, 2, 3. I move up 3 units from one point from point S. I move up 3 units to reach the same level of point T. So up 3 means you have the rise as 3 divided by the run after you move up 3. Now you move right to reach the point T. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you move 6 units to the right, and that 6 is the run. So you have a 6. So always you have the rise on top and the run bottom. So when you move up, it's positive. You move down, it's negative. Move left, negative. You move right, positive. So here, everything is positive. So 3/6 represents the slope. But understand how to reduce 3/6. And 3/6, if you reduce it, you get 1 out of 2. Is to divide 3 by 3, you get to 1. 6 by 3, you get to 2. So the slope is positive 1/2. And if you see all the 4 choices, only C has that slope, okay, 1/2. A, they have 2 as a slope, which is not correct, so it's out. So that means what? I don't need to go further. So I found the correct choice here, which is C. Another way to check this is to find the coordinate of the point S and its T, and you plug in the coordinate, you check one by one to see which one works. Or you use the other method, which is to solve the equation of a line. How we solve the equation of a line, while we plug in the slope and we solve for B, which is the y-intercept. But this, you see it in another video. Let's continue. Question 16. They say find the distance unit between 0 and the point T. So we have point T on the number line, and they want to know the distance between the 0 and point T. Key information, distance. Every time they ask you to find distance, okay, know that your answer has to be positive. Distance is a positive value. Distance is a length, so a line segment, so a length between 2 points. So it has to be positive. Therefore, A and B are out. If you don't know that distance will be positive, maybe you will choose, oh, A is the correct choice because you will see that T point, between -3 and the -4. But no. Okay, we are between now C and D. And because the point is between 3 and the 4, they cannot be 4.5. So that means what? The point T is not yet a 4. So it's more than 3, but not yet 4. But because we say it's going to be positive, so it has to be positive 3.5. So the correct choice is C. Question 17. Wow. For question 17, understand that they say given f of x equals square root of 9 minus x. So we read this square root of 9 minus x. For what value of x is f of x 0? Please, they don't ask you to find f of 0. No. They say for what value of x? So here we are looking for the x value. And they say f of x is 0. F of x is a y. So it's like a y equals 0. Y is the function here. So it's like they want you to solve square root of 9 minus x is equal to 0. Okay, anyway, even if you don't know how to solve this square root equation, it's not a big deal. They give you 4 different answers here. What you can do is to plug, okay, one by one to see for what value of x here, because 9, 3, -9, and -3 represent the x value. Okay, you're going to have the square root of a 9, might that value give you 0. So let's replace first of all x by 9. You're going to have a square root of a 9 minus 9. And the 9 minus 9 is 0. So square root of 0 is 0. So A is the correct choice. But anyway, let's check with B. B, you're going to have a square root of a 9 minus 3 is 6. But square root of a 6 is not 0. Okay, so this is out. Or replace x by -9. In that case, you're going to have a square root of 9 minus -9, which is same as square root of 18, because 9 minus -9 is 9 plus 9, which is 18. But square root of 18 is not 0. The last one, same thing, if you replace, you will not get 0. So the correct choice here is A, which is 9. Question 18. The question looks complicated, but it's not. Okay, they say simplify 3 square root of 2x plus square root of 8x minus square root of 2x. If you see all the 4 choices, right, we have a 2x, 2x, 2x inside the square root. Okay, so the first thing to do here is to make sure that inside the square root you have a 2x. The first part is fine. We have a 3 square root of 2x. But the middle, we have a square root of 8x. Can we rewrite this? Can we make it as 2x inside the square root? Yes. How to do that? Understand that the square root of 8x is like a square root of 4 times 2x. Because 4 times 2 is 8. Minus, we have a square root of 2x. But this square root of 2x is like 1 square root of 2x. When you don't have a number outside, means that it's invisible 1. Okay, so remember, every time you have, so let's put a recall here. So the square root of 4 times 2x is same as square root of 4 times square root of 2x. But this square root of 4 is a regular 2. So I have a 3 square root of 2x plus regular 2 square root of 2x minus 1 square root of 2x. Okay, what to do next? We're going to keep square root of 2x, but we take a 3, we add it to 2, and we subtract 1. So 3 plus 2 minus 1 is what? 4. And then you keep the square root of 2x. So you have 4 square root of 2x, and the correct choice is D. So these are out. So understand this like, okay, 3 bananas plus 2 bananas minus 1 banana. Okay, so the square root of 2x, we call this like terms. And that's why you have to do the operation using the coefficient, the number outside. Question 19. Wow, this is a chart. For question 19, I'll tell right away that the correct choice is C. Do not choose A or B or D. Let's understand the question. Okay. Study the graph below and answer the question. The question is what? What is the average point of the top 3 highest teams? Okay, is teams. Yeah, sorry. Highest teams. So the top 3 highest teams. Please don't think like the top 3 highest here are a team A, team B, team C. Highest. If they say the top 3 teams, suppose they don't use the highest. They say the top 3 teams, it's going to be team A, team B, team C. And in that case, okay, your answer will be B. But here, because they say the top 3 highest, so they want to know the longest, the top 3 longest. So that's another way to understand their highest, the top 3 longest team. Okay, so the longest here is the last one, team H. And if you see this, approximately we can say, okay, the point here is 110 for blue. Okay. After blue, we can take the green. And for green, okay, dark blue, yeah. The green here, approximately 100. So we added this to 100. Added to, the next one will be yellow. Okay, and this yellow, approximately, we can say 90. Okay, how I found this, you see, it's just to project. So this is a number line, right? We have 100, we have a 120. So between 100 and 120, we have a 110. Okay, so this dark blue is like 0 to 110. The green, if you project this, that jump to 100. That's why I took a 100. And the yellow, if you project the yellow, is between 80 and 100. So we can say 90. If you add all of this, that give you what? 300. But because they say average, average means what? You add all the three numbers and you divide it by 3. And the 300 divided by 3 is 100. That's why the correct choice here is C. Question 20. In the table, X represents the input and the Y represents the output. Determine if the table describes a function. What's the definition of a function using input and the output? That's the definition here. Okay. For each X value, you have only one Y value. That's the definition. So that means what? If you take a negative 9, the Y value relative to negative 9 is negative 9. So you not see again another number related to negative 9. That's what you have to understand. Or simple is this. To check if a table or relation is a function, check if there is any repeating X value. If you have a repeating X value, no, it's not a function. But if you see that, okay, no X value is repeating, yes, it's a function. So we have a negative 9 once in the X values, 3 once, 6 once, 7 once, 9 once. So yes, it's a function. Doesn't matter if the Y value is repeating or if you have X and the Y have the same value. No, it's not a problem. Is that your X value, okay, each of them has only one Y value? If yes, it's a function. Or do you see that, okay, there is no repeating X value? If yes, it's a function. Therefore, D is the correct choice. Almost done. Question 21. Wow. So this is again, a graph related to inequality. Choose the correct inequalities, okay, that are represented here. Understand that the black, okay, part represents the graph. Okay, so when they use close point or full point at a 0, that means it's included. But when they use open circle at 8, that means the 8 is not included. Okay, so when something is included, we use like a this or we use a this. But when something is open, we use this or this. Okay, so full or open. Okay. Now, if you check it, A said what? 0 is greater than X. Let's show you something. What we have here, the first part is telling you that X is smaller than or equal to 0. X is less than or equal to 0, which is same as 0 is greater than or equal to X. You see, I can write the X before 0, or if I want to write the number before X, you have to flip over the symbol. So I have a 0 is greater than X, which is same thing. Suppose I have a 3, it's less than 5. If I want to write a 5 before 3, I will say that 5 is greater than 3. Okay, that's the concept here. Okay, so that's the first part. The second part, what we have here will say X is greater than 8. This time it's not greater than or equal to because it's just greater than because they don't close it off, make 8 as a full circle. So x is greater than 8 because we need numbers more than 8. Or this is same as to say 8. If I write the number first, I will say it's less than x. Okay, so the thing is, if you check all the four choices here, which one has this information is A. Because they say 0 is greater than or equal to x. Okay, which is this one here. And you have x is greater than 8, which is this one here. So that's the correct choice. In another video, you can see they give you these inequalities and ask you to graph it. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. Question 22. This question is very important. They say factor 3x squared minus x minus 2. I will show you a technique you can use to factor, expression like this. If you don't know that technique, what you need to do here is to distribute, is to multiply, okay, the expression to see which one will give you 3x squared minus x minus 2. But I will not use the multiplication method. Let's use the factoring method here. Okay, so for this question 22, you have to understand the correct choice is B. Now let's solve it. Okay, first of all, we're gonna take the number, they multiply by x squared, which is 3. We take a 3 and we multiply by the number with no x. So 3 multiplied by negative 2 is negative 6. Yeah, so we call this quadratic expression. And to factor quadratic expression, we use the AC method. I explained this in another video in detail. Okay, so when you have an AC method, the A value is 3 and the C is negative 2. So you take each number with its sign. The 2 has negative, the A is positive. You multiply 3 by negative 2, you get negative 6. Now we're going to play a little game. We will try to find two numbers such that you multiply the two numbers, you get negative 6. Negative 6 we got here, okay? You multiply the two numbers, you get negative 6. You add the same two numbers and you get negative 1. Where the negative 1 came from? Okay, that's the middle coefficient. You see when they say negative x, that means what? Negative 1x. So that negative 1 came from the sum of the same two numbers give you negative 6. Don't say here the numbers will be 3 and the negative 2. The numbers are not a 3 and the negative 2. Why? Because if you add the 3 to negative 2, you not get negative 1. So even 3 times negative 2 give you negative 6, but understand there is another possibility. Okay, we have many possibilities to get multiplication of two numbers give you negative 6. Okay, and from those possibilities, only one give you negative 1 when you added the numbers. Okay, so here, the numbers we are looking for will be what? Negative 3 and the positive 2. Negative 3 and the positive 2. Okay, after you find the two numbers, the next step is to rewrite the expression. Remember, we have a 3x squared minus 1x plus a minus 2. So we're going to write this as 3x squared. The minus 1x, we're going to write it as negative 3x plus 2x before we minus 2. So what I'm doing here is what? The negative 1x, I rewrote it using negative 3x plus 2x. So the two numbers we got in the boxes here help me to rewrite the negative 1x as two other terms. Now in total, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Before we have a 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. Now we have a 4 terms. So because we have a 4 terms, we're gonna use method by grouping. So we're gonna take 2 by 2. So we take the first 2 and the last 2 to factor out. Yeah, I know this is a long method, but if you understand it, you can do it fast. Okay, so when you have a 3x or the minus 3x and you want to factor out, okay, the common factor here will be 3x. parentheses. Inside, you're going to have x minus 1. Understand that when I say common factor is 3x is this. 3x squared, let's explain here. It's like you have a 3 times x times x. That's a 3x squared. Minus 3 times x times 1. That's a 3x. So we have a 3x as a common factor. So same expression repeating. That's how we put it outside the parentheses here. Now left over, after I pull this 3x outside, what left is x, which is the x inside here. And what also left here after I remove the 3x is negative 1. That's what we have there. Okay, we continue. Now, the other two terms, same thing, we're going to factor. So you have a 2x minus 2. The common factor there will be 2, and they have to be positive 2. Parentheses. So x minus 1. Also understand that when you have a 2x minus 2, this is like a 2 times x minus 2 times 1. So 2 is the common factor which I have here outside. So parentheses, inside I have leftover, which is x, and the negative 1. That's why we have that. Okay, when you are using that AC method to factor the expression, at this step, you must, that means what is mandatory, you must get the same expression inside the parentheses. So like here, you have x minus 1, x minus 1. Now to finish this factoring, what you have in the parentheses is the same. You have it x minus 1. You keep it. And now you make other parentheses, okay? And what you have outside will be there. So 3x is outside from the first group, and the positive 2 is also outside for the second group. So the answer is x minus 1 times 3x plus 2, which is similar to say 3x plus 2 times x minus 1. So for multiplication, 2 times 3 is same as 3 times 2. So the correct choice, like I said before, is B. Question 23. For question 23, I'll tell you that the answer is D. How? Key information, quadrant. Quadrant 4. This is quadrant 4. What they mean by quadrant? So you see this space here. So after you have x, y coordinate, you have 4 areas, 4 zones. So the first zone is quadrant 1, so Q1. The second zone is quadrant 2, Q2. The third zone is quadrant 3, Q3. And the last one is quadrant 4, Q4. So always that follow that order. So it's like you are writing capital C when you start from quadrant 1 and you end this in quadrant 4. So capital C, the way you write capital C. Okay, so in quadrant 4, the point we have is this black point. And we want to know the coordinate of that point. Always when they say coordinate, you have to get the x value before the y value. So if you project this point to the x line, you have a 2 for x value. And you project the same point to the y line, you have a negative 4. That's why the correct choice here is D. Question 24. It is another challenge question. Yes, can you challenge yourself? Of course. Okay, so if you answer yes, pause the video, find the answer before you continue. Okay, yes, there is a formula we can use to solve this question 24, but we don't need it. We can just use our imagination to solve this question. To use our imagination, let's see. They say Robertson, okay, received a first year salary of $90,000 and the 2% annual raise. When they say raise, that means what? The money goes up, okay? So 2%, if they divide that amount by 100, they take 2 parts, okay? Okay, and they add it to the 90,000. Okay, that's the meaning of a raise of a 2% annual raise. Through the first 10 years of employment, This is key information. 10 years. In total, how much money will be earned over the first 10 years in total? So 90,000, okay, every year for, you know, annual salary. And in 10 years, do you think in 10 years you're going to have a 91,000? No, it's going to be more than that because 90,000 is just for 1 year. Even they have what, 2% annual raise. So they're increasing this salary. So suppose they don't increase it. Suppose there is no raise. If you have a 90,000 the first year, you have a 90,000 the second year, you have a 90,000 the third year, you have a 90,000 the fourth year, to 10 years. Do you think if in total you're gonna get 91,000? No, you're gonna be more than that. So A is out. Even B is out because 90,000, even with a raise, 10 years, it cannot be 109,000 something. No, it's gonna be more than that. Even C, it's gonna be more than that. So Suppose is just 90,000 per year, every year. In 10 years, it's gonna be 900,000 in 10 years without raise. It's just gonna be 900,000. So you see that A, B, and C, they are below 900,000. So that's what I'm saying, that you don't need any formula to calculate this. You just to use your imagination to say that, okay, 90,000, 10,000, 10 times will be more than 900,000. That's why D is that value which is more than 900,000 with a raise. Yes, that's very important. With a raise, that will be more than 900,000. Without a raise, that will be 900,000. Okay, so the correct choice is D. That's why we are saying we don't need a formula, just to use our imagination. Question 25. What is the length of the line segment EF? So here, EF, let me use this color. Okay, you see, when they put 75 here, 75 is the length from DF. So the entire length DF is 75. But if you see here, we have a DE, which is 10x. So it's like a 10x plus the 5x. So DE plus EF give you that 75, which is the entire line segment here. So to find EF, we need to know the value of x. After you know the value of x, you plug in, you can get the length of EF. Now, when you have a 10x plus 5x, this gives you what? 15x, which is same as 75. So we can solve for x. To solve for x, okay, we're gonna do 75. Let's do here. 15x is equal to 75. So we divide both sides by 15. So this is telling you that x is 75 divided by 15. And if you do that calculation, you get 5. So x is 5. This doesn't mean that your answer is 5. No. They use a 5 just to confuse you. So C is out. It's not a 5. Now you replace x by 5 in 5x. So could you do 5 times 5, which is 25. Therefore, the correct choice here is A. So B is out, D is out. Yeah. Okay, you have to understand that overall, practice makes perfect. Thank you. And please feel free to share the video so other people also can benefit. Bye-bye.